You're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, tonight we started with part one of our series on what happened on New Year's Eve and the panic that it caused. And so we're going to do that again tonight with part two. And I was going to wrap it up tonight, but I didn't get the tape that I need, and I have been promised that that will be in the delivered by UPS tomorrow, without fail. And so tomorrow we will bring you the dramatic conclusion to what this is all leading up to. You're not going to believe it. It's just absolutely incredible. I know most of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but it will all become clear. I also want you all to know that I have nothing personal against Alex Jones or anybody else, period. What I have a problem with is people who stretch the truth, people who lie, people who go off the deep end, people who panic on the air because of something that somebody said when they just called in without checking, without any kind of validation or research whatsoever. I have a big, big problem with that. I have a big problem with people who just yank faxes out of a fax machine, read them on the air as if they're true without ever checking them out. I have a big problem with somebody creating an emergency that doesn't exist and leading us maybe into a situation where the government would be justified in declaring martial law because of the panic that such a thing could create. Broadcasters have a responsibility. I have spent 8 years now, ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting the truth, documenting, sourcing, letting you know what that documentation and what those sources are so that you could go out and duplicate my research and make up your own mind whether it was true or not. I have consistently asked you not to believe what I tell you or what anybody else tells you, unless you can prove it in your own research. But most people will not do that. They will not do that. They're looking for someone to validate what they already believe, and when they find somebody who's doing that, they latch on to them like a piece of gold, and they won't let go because they're telling them what they want to hear, and they get the adrenaline rush. It's like riding a roller coaster. They get off, they've been scared to death, and they've gone down these steep hills and stuff, and their stomach's all butterflied, and guess what they do? They go get another ticket and get right back on. For a lot of people, this is entertainment, but it's dangerous entertainment. Very dangerous entertainment. As you're going to see from this little series we're doing. When you listen to anybody on the air, bear in mind several things. Number one, you don't know that person. No matter how long you've been listening to them on the radio, you don't know them. People are different at their job than they are in their private life. Number two, they may have an agenda of which you are not aware. Number three, they may be a dupe, passing on information that's fed to them. That's called a cutout in the intelligence world, and it happens all the time. They may not have your best interest at heart. They may be stirring up hysteria and panic for a purpose. Now, if you're just one of these mindless robots that are looking for a personality to latch onto, listening for somebody that's going to tell you what you want to hear, if you're into self-fulfilling prophecy, then this is not the broadcast for you to be listening to. Okay? Also, if anybody thinks that I'm doing this little series here to hurt anybody else, you're wrong. If anybody thinks that I'm doing it because I'm jealous of anybody else, you're wrong. How could I be jealous of anybody else? I've received the greatest compliment that a radio broadcaster could ever broadcast in the Patriot field. The President has named me the most dangerous radio host in America. Not Rush Limbaugh, not Bo Gritz, not Alex Jones, not Michael Trudeau, not Sweet Liberty, not any of them. William Cooper. I started Patriot Broadcasting. There was not one single Patriot radio broadcast on the air. I started it. Everybody who's doing it now started out copying what I was doing. Every single one of them listened to the hour of the time to get their material to broadcast. Every single one of them went to our website, and I can prove that with the statistics. It registered, and I've saved them over the years. It registered every single visitor to our website. And you can go back and get the old tapes of our broadcasts and tapes of the broadcasts of other people, and you'll see that that's verified. I have absolutely nothing to be jealous of. I have one of the largest audiences in the entire world for what I do. Our webpage has more hits than any other person doing what I do. In fact, we just rolled over 11 million hits on our webpage. 11 million hits on our webpage, and we're getting anywhere from 14,000 all the way up to 45,000 hits each and every single day. Okay? Nobody knew what was going on in this country until I told them. Nobody ever heard of the Illuminati until I told them. Nobody understood what Ordo Ab Chao meant until I told them. Nobody ever understood the mystery religion. Nobody ever knew who was subverting this country until I did the research and did my series on Mystery Babylon. These are facts. There's no one out there that I am jealous of. I'm interested in only one thing, and you all better understand this, just like I said in the beginning of my book. I believe first in God. Second, in Jesus as my own personal Savior. But I don't go to any church. I don't believe all these dogmas of all these different churches. I believe only what Jesus tells me in the words that are written that He spoke in the Bible, in the New Testament. I believe that He was God incarnate in the flesh. I believe that when He spoke, He obliterated everything that went before except for that which He fulfilled, and that His words are the law. If you want proof of that, God gave us 10 commandments. When Jesus was here, He gave us 2. He said one was the most greatest commandment, and the other was like unto it. The first is that you should love your God with all your soul and all your mind. And the second is you should love thy neighbor as thyself. If you don't believe me, go read it. Number 3, I believe in the Constitution for the United States of America because it's the only and the first document that ever set anyone that lives on this planet that wasn't some kind of a king free. The only one. And without it, we will not be free. And then, last but not least, the family unit, because I believe that is the building block of any society. But without God, there would have not been any Jesus. Without Jesus and God, there could not have been a Constitution. Without a Constitution, we would never have been free. You see, the Founding Fathers recognized, first, there is a God. Without God, we could not have unalienable, Creator-endowed rights. So you have to put first things first and second things second, and everything else goes behind that. I'm not concerned about whether anyone likes me. I don't care what you may think about me. I do things in order of their importance. Number 1, God. Number 2, Jesus. Number 3, the Constitution, which is freedom. Number 4, my family. Number 5, my friends. Everybody else comes after that. And I mean everybody else. If you don't like me, if you don't like this broadcast, if you don't like what I do, if you don't want to hear the truth, if it bothers you and you want to go hear the fear mongers and the people who yank something out of a fax and read it on the air as if it's true without ever checking, then get the hell off my frequency and do it right now. Because I don't care if one person